Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Green Day, Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Make sure you're here Monday morning at 8 a.m. right now, this time, except on Monday, for an exclusive, historic Green Day experience from Q101 and Brian and Kenzie. And, man, we cannot wait for this thing. It's I want to tell you now, but I can't.
Can I offer a piece of advice for anybody listening that's already amped up about this Green Day announcement?
Of course.
Phone a friend. Maybe you have somebody that in your life that doesn't always listen to Q101 at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're going to want them listening.
And a better chance to win and have two going.
Exactly.
Aha.
I see.
That is great advice. All right, here we go. It is time for Case's movie reviews, and he's doing Rocky by popular demand. It sounds so weird. This is, again, the lens of a 25-year-old watching a almost 50-year-old movie, a movie that I think everybody listening has seen. I would have to think 98% of our audience has seen Rocky, and to me, an inspirational movie that helped shape my life after I saw Rocky.
Really?
No, it just sounds good.
It made me want to work out. Didn't you feel like you could accomplish anything after the movie?
100%.
Like, tomorrow's training day, baby.
Yeah.
This is it. I'm going to be a world champ.
When I got exiled from Chicago radio, which I won't talk about, I had to leave Chicago for a while, went to Philadelphia and did radio there, sports talk radio, and that's where I met my wife, so it all worked out properly, of course. It was beautiful. But the first thing I did, I got off the plane, and I went to the museum, to the Rocky statue, and hugged it. Don't you roll your eyes at me, Case.
Sorry, that wasn't a verbal cue, but I did just roll my eyes at Brian in the studio.
You hugged?
I hugged the Rocky. I've always in my life, I've never been there. I dreamed of being by the Rocky statue.
I'm going to bring something up right now.
Yeah.
I've been to the Rocky statue.
Yeah.
It's not floor level.
I
it's
understand.
Up.
I climbed it.
So when you hugged him, where's your face?
I climbed it. I was still in his shorts area. I was still in that area. I couldn't get all the way up. Yeah.
So you're just burying your face right in there? You had a face journey?
I was a face journey.
We were talking about this
Good
earlier.
callback. Good callback. A face journey with the Rocky statue. So let's get to it. We always start off with the old trailer. So is this 1976?
1976, December of 1976. This is a movie trailer from the 70s.
His name is Sylvester Stallone. He's the star of a new film called Rocky. He's been described as tough, handsome, talented, sexy, sensitive, dynamic, brilliant. He's been compared to Nicholson, De Niro, and Brando, but he is Rocky. He's the man who could be loved by only one woman because somehow she gets beneath the pain. He's every nobody who ever needed somebody.
Rocky, do you believe that America is the land of opportunity?
Yeah. He's the man who never had a chance until now. Rocky. His whole life was a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. His name is Sylvester Stallone, but you will always remember him as Rocky.
Damn right! Look at these goosebumps. Look at these goosebumps.
Your hair is actually standing up.
I got goosebumps out of my
You look
ass.
like when a dog.
What?
I have goosebumps out of my ass right now.
Yes.
Oh my
You
God.
look like your arms are so hairy right now. It's standing up. It looks like when you have a beagle and somebody walks by with their dog and all the hair stands up on its back. That's how you look. Your arms.
That was the most incredible piece of audio I've ever heard.
Well, thank you to crew member Andy in Bensonville. He's the one that sent that. Thank you again, Andy, for Bensonville. That was... What a trailer. We have not had something like that.
That was the best trailer we've ever played. And the old ones we made fun of, not made fun of, but we yearn for those voiceovers from the 70s, 80s, 90s that don't happen anymore in movie trailers.
I gotta be honest. I love the old school voice movie trailers. I really do.
Yeah.
But that just sounded like a dating profile for the first 15 seconds.
His name is Sylvester Stallone.
Play it one more time.
I don't know what that had to do with the movie, the first little bit.
Well, here's why they did that, because he was an unknown. No one knew who the hell he was when this movie came out.
His name is Sylvester Stallone. He's the star of a new film called Rocky. He's been described as tough, handsome, talented, sexy, sensitive, dynamic, brilliant.
We're just listing everything.
Oh, that is like a
Him
baby profile.
and Eminem brought the dictionary on the bus.
That is so good. And he was a complete unknown. I mean, he had some movies out by then, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't Rocky. He wasn't Sylvester Stallone.
It's like, are we going to get to the movie or are we just going to keep talking about
Well,
things women have said about him?
I don't know if you're going to say this case in your review, but also the reason is, he wrote Rocky.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Oh, yeah. And he got paid. Movie studios wanted to buy it from him, but they wanted somebody else to star in it, and he refused over and over and over again. So much so that he had to sell his own dog.
He did.
He sold his own dog.
The dog in the dog in the
money.
movie is his dog, Buttkiss, and he had to buy it back once he got enough money. He got the advance for the
But
movie.
he refused, as broke as he was, he refused to sell the movie to these movie companies if he couldn't be the star of it.
Yep. He held on to it, and it was right. It was the right
He's a
move.
true champion in the movie and in real life. He
Yeah.
should have added champion to his list of incredible things about him.
Yeah, but what if De Niro started this movie instead? Wouldn't it be a little
No.
bit better if it was De Niro?
No.
I have a
Wait
bet.
a minute. You better put some respect on Sylvester Stallone. You better come in here and hate him because I love him.
I think I already know where this review's going, possibly by that statement.
Do we want to dive in?
Let's do this. I'll say we've had some fun with the trailer. We played it, but let's. I'm nervous about your review now, and I may have to pull the plug on it.
Yeah.
If you're going,
It's absolutely about to get canceled.
if you're going to disparage Rocky, when I'm in the room, we may have a problem.
Finally, grow up here, Brian, because I'm not playing this game.
Well, I enjoy the lens of the 25-year-old seeing these movies. I'm very open and I'm evolved, and I want to hear your perspective of something. But this one's different.
Yes. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, I proposed to my wife by saying, I wonder if you wouldn't mind marrying me much in front of 4,000 people at the Aragon. A great line from Rocky.
Oh, a classic.
Actually, that was Rocky 2, but yeah.
You haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, we can get there next week. All right, when we come back here, the full review of Rocky from Case here on Brian and Kenzie on Q101, 8 minutes away.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, we broke down the trailer, which took a good amount of time there with Rocky.
There was a lot to unpack. I wasn't expecting that.
But now let's get right to it. And Case's review of Rocky, seeing it for the first time at 25 years old, a movie that's almost 50 years old, and obviously a classic and one of the most inspiring movies of all time. Case, go. What is your review of the movie?
So a lot of times when I watch a movie for the show, I do a lot of deep dive after the fact. I want to know who directed it, who wrote it, what the purpose of the movie was. I didn't do that with Rocky, but I'm assuming in 2024, we've all come to the conclusion that this is a movie about a man who is suffering from severe CTE. He clearly has a brain injury that is incurable. He's living a damaged, hard life because of it, and his brain hopefully will be donated to science when he finally kicks the bucket. That's what Rocky's about, am I right?
Well, no, but
Well, I mean,
yes.
he's boxing, so he may have gotten CTE
No,
all the way.
he has CTE.
I will say this. It's interesting how Rocky starts where his career is already over. He's like 28 years old, I think, in the movie at that point, and he's boxing for $5 at these local gyms, these bars. And so, and you're right. He has he's got some problems. He's down and out more than anybody could be down and out. So that's an interesting takeoff of I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It's not the whole movie.
That's pretty much the whole movie.
No, it's not.
Let's make it clear. He wanted it to come across as if he was struggling. It's not like he was trying to play a millionaire and failed. That is one of the points.
No, I certainly thought he was struggling.
Yeah.
I definitely
So,
agree with that.
Again, actor of the year. Congratulations. Like, he nailed it. He definitely came across as struggling.
Yeah, I never see. I guess this is when history proves something different. They never heard of CTE back then.
It was a different time.
If you don't know what CTE is, it's the conversation of the football players getting over concussions over and over again, and many of them are dying and getting ALS.
Chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Yeah, something like that.
Encephalopathy.
Yeah, so these are what the football players get. So anyway, Case.
Anywho, CTE.
This a tale of two movies, right? There's the boxing stuff, which is great. I love all the boxing characters. I love the promoter. I love Apollo Creed. Rocky's boxing is excellent to watch. He's got a trainer who was a veteran in the War of 1812. That man is so old. I love it.
Women weaken legs. That's what Mick used to say. He was right, too.
Rocky at one point goes, "It's a living," and then he goes, "It's a waste of life."
Such good points.
What a great line.
What a great line. I forgot about that. I was like, "You're out there. You're a leg breaker." Because he was working for that mob guy. And that Mick goes, "Yeah. Oh, so good. I'm getting chills again. Love it."
Then there's romantic Rocky.
Yes.
Which I think we need to discuss.
Okay.
It's like a horror movie. Whenever Rocky is interacting with a woman in this movie, it's one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Oh, God.
So, it's, sometimes when you watch a movie for the first time, like, you're trying to figure out just what universe you're in for the first 20 minutes or so. So I understand Rocky's a boxer, but I couldn't understand why at the beginning he's talking to this lady who works at like a bird store who's ignoring all of his advances, and yet he goes back almost every day to talk to this woman who doesn't want to talk to him.
Listen, shoot your shot.
He did.
About 15 times, 100 times.
So
It was sweet.
I don't know if it was or not.
It was super sweet.
Well, this is his perspective of it. He watched. This is his perspective of it. That's why I like to hear this.
He goes out with her for the first time, I think, on Thanksgiving. Was that the night of their first date? Because her brother comes by and throws away her turkey because she wouldn't go out with Rocky, which is one of the most evil things I've ever seen.
That's exactly right.
And then they
That's
go.
Paulie, of course.
Of course. So they go on this date, which is fine. And then they go back to Rocky's house. And this is like a frail, sheltered, very soft-spoken woman.
Right.
And she gets back to Rocky's apartment and she goes, Rocky, I'd really like to call my brother. It'd make me feel better if he knew where I was. And Rocky goes, "I don't have a phone." At that point, I'm like, okay, so she's getting murdered. I didn't know Rocky was a horror film, but it is.
Kenzie, if you went over to someone's house and you wanted to call, like your mom, let's say, and they said, "I don't have a phone," how do you think it's going to play out?
Well, nowadays, is a lie. I'm sorry. That's back then.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't have a phone.
He didn't have a phone.
That's what I said. He was literally, this guy can't win. He's one of the good ones. He's telling the truth. He's being honest, and he still comes across as creepy.
But let's take yourself back, though, to the 70s, Kenzie. And
I was never there, but I will do my best.
well, I'm saying that a guy maybe not have a phone, really, and he said he didn't have a phone. Would you still think everything was sweet?
I think you could look at him and go, he probably doesn't have a phone. Like that tracks. He's been nice. He's been a good guy. It would add up that he probably wouldn't be paying for a phone at that point in his life.
Yeah.
I think if you went over to a well-off guy's house, he said he didn't have a phone, red flag. You go over to his house, you're like, probably.
Probably not a phone.
Probably doesn't have a phone.
I've never thought of that watching the movie. I've seen it over 100 times. It's creeping me out now. I got to admit, it is when he says he doesn't have a phone.
It's absolutely horrifying to think about. Like the tone changes because it's not like, "Oh, I don't have a phone, but maybe we can find him." He goes, "I don't have a phone."
Yeah.
And then he yells out the window to her brother like, "Hey, she's over here."
Okay, he's putting in the effort because he wants her to feel comfortable and he doesn't have a phone.
I can do that imitation, by the way.
Oh, here.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. She coming home a little bit later.
Perfect. Tell me you don't feel safe with that guy. He's like, "I don't have a phone, but I'm going to make it happen.
No, she probably thinks she's coming home in a burlap sack now that Rocky's going to dismember her in his apartment.
Oh, my God.
It's terrifying. That every bit of Rocky interacting with any sort of woman in this movie.
Her name is Adrian, by the way.
Adrian.
Put some respect on her name.
Well, she's a survivor. I'm glad she's here to speak about it.
This is a timeless love story. A timeless love story. Their entire relationship, spoiler alert, and marriage, because you haven't gotten to the other
Kenzie,
ones.
how dare you?
You gave away the proposal earlier. You said you quoted it.
Oh, damn it, you're right.
Yeah, so that's
Damn
on
it.
you. But they have a beautiful relationship, and I can't sit here and listen to this.
Sorry, Case, they get married. I ruined
yeah,
that.
they do get married.
You couldn't have predicted what was going to happen with Rocky and
She
Adrian.
doesn't get murdered, they get married.
Wow. All right, good to know. I would have assumed she got murdered.
All right, keep going with your review of Rocky.
Otherwise, outside of all the horrific romantic stuff, it's a great movie. I loved all the boxing stuff. The boxing promoter is such a great character.
yeah.
What's his line when he's trying to sell Rocky on the fight?
Rocky, do you believe in America?
And then Rocky, without making eye contact, because whenever somebody is speaking directly to Rocky in this movie, he refuses to make eye contact with them, which again, CTE. He goes, yeah, I do. And then sells him on this fight. The fight scene. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, right?
It's that's historic. We're talking about our Green Day giveaway at 8:00 is historic on Monday. But what they did has never been done in movies before. They invented a camera that can basically the camera they use today, where if the guy has to run, let's say the cameraman, and the camera stays steady.
Yeah.
They invented that camera when he runs up the steps, and they used it in the boxing scenes. And the guy was 6'8", the cameraman, to make it work. They needed some big guy, so they got a big guy to do it.
You could have had that job. All the things you could have done with his height.
It's unbelievable.
And look at you, standing by a microphone. I'm 5'2", I can do that.
Yeah, that's right. No advantage here.
It's a really enjoyable movie from the boxing perspective. I finally put the training scene together in context. I knew the song. I knew at some point he was going to run up some stairs.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Because it's an iconic clip you've seen, I'm sure, just randomly.
Well, because I've always made fun of people that go to Philadelphia and do that. I think what a waste of time that would be, but now I want to go to Philly and do that.
Of course, it's unbelievable how I hate running, but it's exciting to do that. It's fun.
Do you want to know my wedding was in Philadelphia? Because my wife's from there, and we ran the Rocky Steps, took pictures at the top, right by everything.
She ran it in a gown, like
she
ran?
She did. Well, I mean she
could have face planted.
as fast as you can. And then we were at the Rocky statue, always has a line of about 100 people taking pictures with it. And everybody saw us and started cheering, and they spread. And you guys go because you're getting married, and we got a picture by the Rocky statue. I'll put that up on Facebook if you want.
What a bunch of nerds.
What? You want to do it now, you said. You're a nerd.
Listen, Kate, it's fun. It's just good old-fashioned fun. Don't hate on that.
All
Wow.
right.
Is there anything I missed? Any other angle of Rocky we need to cover?
So you covered basically it's a movie about a guy who has CTE and has a sad life. Also, not a phone, a little bit creepy with a date, but the boxing scenes were kick-ass.
Apollo Creed shot up my list of favorite movie characters ever. I wish I was him. What a cool guy.
I mean, in a way, he stole the movie. In a way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because no one else could have played Rocky, and no one else could have played Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah.
Perfectly cast.
I do have something to admit, is that for a very, very, very long time, I thought Apollo Creed was a real person.
Like a boxer, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Up until very recently did I find out that wasn't based just like on a true care. I assumed.
Yeah.
Recently as in today, right now?
Not right now. But not far off. There's so many things named like Apollo and I don't know. It just seemed very legitimate.
Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. He did play pro football. Like he was a real athlete before he was an actor and all that.
I didn't think he was the real Apollo Creed. I thought he was playing.
You thought he was playing Apollo Creed.
Yeah, I thought that there was a real Apollo Creed in the world.
I want to say something interesting that a texter just came in on.
Yeah.
What is your take on him punching the meat?
Why can't he just go to a gym like a normal guy?
But don't
He
you want?
doesn't have a phone, Casey. You think he can afford a lifetime gym membership? You're out of your mind.
There was no Planet Fitnesses back then.
Oh, you're telling me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. I love when the news reporter has to bundle up to go interview him there.
Yeah.
And then he gives the worst interview of any interview all time.
Like every athlete,
I know.
in fairness.
Well, I got to go fight him. It's like, oh, thanks, Rock. All right, nice.
I
Gonna
love it.
try hard out there.
I love it when the news reporter. I remember this part where she asked him about the workout routine. Is this typical for boxers around? He goes, no, I invented it. So I'm glad you've seen Rocky now, and the listeners can decide if it becomes every Friday on August Rocky month that you see all 5 of the good movies, because we're not. You can watch, the Tommy Morrison one on your own, which, by the way, has E from Entourage, a little kid in it, by the way.
Wow, it's really your sweet spot.
So how many? I've seen every movie, probably 50 times minimum of the Rocky movies. I love them. So, Case, how many punches? What are you going to give? Boxing gloves? Adrian's?
How many slabs of hanging cold meat do you give it?
Can I do it 7 damaged brains?
Yes. How many damaged brains would you give this?
7 damaged brains out of 10. It's a fun movie.
Okay.
It's not Shawshank. It's not Twister.
It's not Twister.
It's not Twister.
Okay, turn his microphone off.
Woo!
Turn
But
it
it's
off.
a fun movie.
There you go. If you missed any of this review and the earlier parts of it, go to our podcast later on, Case's review of Rocky.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.